The best thing as a cinematographer that you can do is to break rules. Where to put the key light? Is there a right way, or is there several different ways you can do it? After watching this video, you should be able to do something like this. So this is the first frame we are talking about, and what a lot of people of you would probably notice is the key light is on this side. But now you will tell me, wait Marco, I always got taught online that the camera, when it's on this side, the key light should be on the other side. So why are you doing this way, and why is it still looking good? There's a lot of reasons why this shot still looks good and doesn't look flat. Because we always get taught when the key light is on the wrong side, your shot looks flat. But what did they do that it doesn't look flat? As you can see, we have a light direction. We have the actor that sits in a room, and here are a lot of windows. And when you want to make something look cinematic, you want to extend the available light. So as you can see in my scenery now, the light is coming from this side. So this is the side of my key. And that's the same thing they do in this shot. The light is coming this way, and so the key light also coming from this side, because it looks more natural. It would look worse when the key was on the right side. Before considering putting the key light always on the right side, check your surroundings, how your scene is built up. Most of the time, actually, you would put your scene the other way around. So she could easily look in the other direction, and the camera is here facing this direction, then we would have the key light on the right side and also the leading light correct. But we want to do something different. Doesn't always have to go the right way. And that's what I do. Even most of the time when shooting a lot of random shots, a lot of filling B-roll, like in this location, in this scenery, then you do something like this. You have to make the whole scene more safe to shoot. To create this right lace, you need a little bit of haze in the atmosphere. And when you are hazing, not always haze in front of the people. I really hate it most of the time when the whole room is full of haze, because you lose a lot of contrast and control and time to get the levels right. When your only goal is to create light shaft, just haze the background. So you get this full, nice atmosphere, but also keeping your contrast and saturation, sharpness of your actor where the focus should be. This is the next frame I want to talk about, and as you can see, this is a VFX shot. We have a lot of feathers falling down in the whole scenery, but to create a look like this, with this contrast, this amount of exposure, you cannot do on a cheap production. All like that, really difficult to control, because you have a really large space, a lot of big windows. To create it that dark, this kind of darkness, you have to overshoot the windows a lot. That means you probably need 18 kilowatt. I think it's also kilowatt in English. Yeah, 18 kilowatt lights, a lot of them, to shoot through there, so that you can put the exposure on the windows down and still get exposure in the room. So as you can see, they put the slides out here, lifted the exposure on this side, so you can get a lot darker on this side. So they got this really nice fade of lightness across the whole image to make it look more cinematic. When you ever shot in a sports hall like this, you will notice that the image is really flat and hard to control. In a shot like this, you always have to consider also using a lot of color grading, creating masks. Even if you have the exposure here, I can guarantee you this side is still very bright. So they put a lot of masks afterwards to bring the exposure here down. It's not bad to do something in post when you know that you will do it. So prepare on the set, we will do it that way, don't waste time, we will do it in post. So, but in a controlled way. After this, always remember, light the background first and then put your actor in it, because it's much more easy to control the balance on your actor than on the whole room. So when she's standing here, after we did all this, she was probably silhouette, just black. But as you can see, we have a contrasty look. So what they probably did is put an 6x6, an 8x8 and 12x12 frame and put a strong light, just shoot on the hair with a grid to control the lights. They probably put also a flag here on this side of the butterfly. As you can see, here is not a lot of exposure. Most of the exposure is on her upper body and on her face. If you want to create a similar look on a lot more smaller budget, I would tell you shoot at night, ignore the windows and do something like top light, so that you can pre-build or mount on the ceiling to get similar results. Here for sure you lose this. You can do it at night, but you then get this little bit of moonlight feeling because you cannot recreate with a small budget this size and area. So take always, or consider always, to create a look that is in your possibilities. It doesn't make sense when you plan to create something like this and it will not look like this. So you will have to think beforehand. So we probably do it like this. We get a similar mood. It's not the most perfect thing, but overall we get a better result. Here, this scenery is a more abstract look, as said before, but instead of a big top light, they just exposed for the windows. That will create a really dark look in the room, because in this hall, like I said before, when you expose for the windows, it really gets dark on a sunny day. So what I did is just to put one lamp outside and spot it on this bicycle. And as you can see, it's in a pure silhouette. To get a little bit more control over the scenery, you would put a lot of neck fill on camera side. So on this side where the camera stands, you build a big black wall so that the light is not bouncing from the windows back onto the scenery. To light control on these large scales need a lot of neck fill. There are only windows on one side of the room. I can tell you most of the time the first thing you can do is put that neck on the other side of the wall, so we have full contrast, full control about the contrast in the room, which is our job as a cinematographer. Another thing you can see here is still a bit of glow. They probably did in 1 of 8 mist filter, but it's not a promise, I think. This looks more like a glimmer filter, which accentuates more around the highlights and doesn't lift the shadows as much as a black promise. This is the next shot I want to talk with you, which is pretty simple setup, because this is the right way to do it, a key light. As you can see, we have the person that sits here in the first quarter of the frame. Then we have our point of interest, which is the window where the light is coming from. So the actor, so the audience knows the light can only come from this side. So what do you do as a cinematographer? You put the light here. And if you want to make it even more realistic, just think about, okay, how does the window look? We have a really big source, so we do a source, so a butterfly on a similar scale or bigger than a window, and shoot our apertures or sky panels through it, and this gives us this really nice key light. Also here, as you can see, we really have a lot of contrast on this side, and this you will probably get only when you black out this side of the wall, so that the light that you shoot through here doesn't bounce around the room, fills the shadows on his face. Next thing they did to do a little bit of color contrast is put this lamp here with a warm color temperature. This one's a little bit colder, as you can see, and it only fills the darkness on the background. What it doesn't do is a backlight. A lot of people will probably now do, when they put a warm lamp on this side, put a key light that gives him edge. But the edge light is something that is now most of the time not there. The edge light is something more unrealistic, I think, and that's the reason a lot of cinematographers remove it. Because when the contrast is already there, or the separation, you don't need to do it. So if you like this cinematography breakdown, I really would appreciate a subscription from you. My name is Marco Bagnoli. I hope to see you next time. Ciao.